Hello, good morning everybody. How are you today? Are you fine? Today I will preach for all of us. Okay, who is it? Job chapter 3 until 41. Job chapter 13 verse 15. Though he slay me, yet will I trust him. Even so, I will defend my wives before him. Okay? Historical setting. Many scholars agree that the book of Job authors are known. It is a difficult task for us to decide who is the author of this book. But according to the evidence, the tendency is that Moses wrote this book. If we read this book carefully, we will find that the style is similar with others book which is wrote by Moses. However, many others words appear in Job also used in the Genesis. For example, El Shaddai or the Almighty appear 31 times in the book of Job and 6 times in the book of Genesis. Moses wrote this book when he was in the Main Desert. It is mean the story of Job was happened before the time of Abraham. The obvious setting of Job is that of Arabian desert culture. Strangely enough, it is not an Israelite setting. Okay, about Job. Okay. Job was a rich man in his place. He has anything. He was full with wealthy. He has sheep, caramel, yoke, household, and anything means that he was great in the use. He also has good children and wife. Because he was a rich man. However, he has many friends who close with him. More than that, he was not only a rich man, rich in worldly possessions, but he was also a spiritual man. The author of this book is said in Job chapter 1 verse 1. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was blameless and upright, and one who feared God and shunned evil. We get the point from the right that Job was a rich and spiritual man. This is not his own idea, because God also acknowledged this truth. Okay? In Job chapter 1 verse 8, Then the Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, blameless and upright man, one who first God and son evil?" So Job was not merely a rich man. He was blameless, upright man, and who first God. This idea is strong enough because the right root the same idea with what God who said to him. Okay? So description about the story of Job. In the story of Job, there were three actors who played an important thing: God, Satan, and Job. Wow! Satan accused to God that his people love him because of something purpose. And for this context, it is because God blessed Job with wealthy, and it is not because Job has a genuine love to him. In the other hand, God believed that Job had a genuine love him. The universe was watching to this moment. Who was right and who was liar? As we now finally God permits Satan to the job. God wants to prove to the universe that Satan was an assured and father of liars. Okay, what happened with Job when God released him to Satan? The book of Job in chapter 1 until 2 give us the story of Job. But from chapter 3 until 41, we just find 43. And in the last chapter in 42, we will see happy ending of the story, but I will share you this Sabbath, the other side of Job. We always listen a sermon about Job in chapter 1 until 2 and jump to the last chapter in 42. But actually the important things in this is in the chapter 3 until 41. Here we will look how Job struggled with this temptation. He down and up, down and up, down and up, and he confused. Who is the troublemaker of this tragedy when he lost everything? Who is the man behind the scene? Who is the troublemaker? Finally, we will find it because of who this tragedy has happened. Let's see this story from chapter 3 until 41. Okay, body, down one. Job chapter 3 verse 11. Why did I not die at birth? Why did I not perish when I came from the womb. It seems that Job upset for his life. Why he must be born if he will suffer like this? Can you imagine when someone rich and then lost everything, lost his wealthy, lost his children, lost his wife, when his wife suggests him to curse God and die, and finally he lost his best friend because his friend accused him make trouble with sin to God. He lost everything in the earth. That's why it is better for him to die at birth. Even he enjoyed the wealthy and the must be mended them not dislike. Okay, down one, up one. Job chapter 60, verse 25. For I know that my Redeemer life, and he shall stand at last on the earth. After he complained to God, he realized that God is Redeemer, God's life, and God shall stand for him. In the beginning of his suffering, Hess was down, but later he rose again and declared that he still knows God as his Redeemer. Verse 26. And after my skin is destroyed, yet this I know, that in my flesh I shall see God. He believes also that even he died, he will see God face to face. Actually, he had a hope after his death. It looks that it was not a problem for Job if God will destroy him before he believed in God. He will meet God. Can you see the struggle of Job? He was very beautiful with this temptation. Application 1. Sometimes in your daily life, we got a big problem and make you upset. We upset with our life and we think that is the solution. It makes us upset with God, but lately we remembered again His words, pray and repent again. We are lucky that Job, because Job lost everything. Even you lost your wife, son, of daughter, you still have family in this church who will support you. Even you lost your job in the office, you can find another job. When you got desires, you can visit hospital and congregation will pray for you. This is not happened to Job because he lost everything. He lost every relationship in the earth. Down to He has also kindled his word against me. He counts me as of his enemies. After he up, Job become down again. It is passage we see how the feeling of Job in his mind, the thought that God against with him and become of his enemy. After he lost an earth relationship, now it seems that he will lose the relationship with heaven. He felt that God against him. Cause you image the position of Job. No relation in the earth and no relation in the heaven. It is better for him to die. He has nothing. He has no reason for survive as a man. Down to Job chapter 23, verse 4 until 5. I will present my case before him and fill my mouth with arguments. I would know the words which he would answer me and understand what he would say to me. In this verse we see that Job used juridical language. He wants to meet God and agree with him. He will ask for an answer to God. What happened with him? In other words, Job challenged God to meet him and debate what's going on with this trouble. Up 3. Job chapter 23, verse 8 until 12. Look, I go forward, but he is not there, and backward, but I cannot perceive him. When he works on the left hand, I cannot behold him. When he turns to the right hand, I cannot see him. But he knows the way that I take. When he has tested me, I shall come forth as gold. My foot has held fast to his steps. I have kept his way and not turned aside. I have not departed from the commandment of his lips. I have treasured the words of his mouth more than my necessary food. After Job challenged God and felt that he was an enemy for God, again he realized that this trouble was important for him. He knew that his character was rendered and shaped to be gold. He will see that Job challenged again, down, and up again. Application 2. West must remember, in the time of Job, he didn't have anything reference for his spiritual Gwendolyn. No spiritual at that time because the story of Job happened before Abraham and Noah. In the other words, this book right before the books of Genesis were so Job fair answer for this stranger. Nothing. We are lucky now we have so many spiritual reference Bible, a right rating and other contemporary books. It means we know everything about that's going on in this world. We do need to worry about anything. We do not meet God face to face like Job's request. Good. Because we already see God in the Bible. We can see him in the history, and the advantage for us is we can shape our character through this reference to grow up our fight. Down 3. Job 30. Verse 20 until 21. I cry out to you, but you do not answer me. I stand up and you regard me, but you have become cruel to me. With the strength of your hands you oppose me. Again Job felt that you have become a cruel to him, God against him as his opposite. How for Job he was really struggled with his problem. His spiritual was instability. Sometimes when he drew that God left him he upset, but sometimes he really just that God has a purpose for him. That's what happened with this. He has a big question about everything. He looked for answer from God. Job need explain. He cried out, but God was silent. Up 3. At this time God will break his silence. Job afraid, he rise up and ready to listen from God about this ministry. Job chapter 38 verse 1 until 3. Then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, Who is this who darkness concealed by words without knowledge? No, prepare yourself like a man. I will question you, and you shall answer me. God's divine purpose is not to settle an argument because of Job as to meet him for arguing. He explained to Job the reason for his suffering. If we read all chapter 38, we will find that God tried to describe that we are nothing. He is the creator. We are creation is superior, human is inferior. Job listened to God. In the other words, God continued explain to him that we know nothing about universe and God knows everything. We know nothing about this problem and God knows everything about what's going on with Job. God is dealing with universe problem. He has great problem. We just deal with small problem. Application 3. The lesson for us is when temptation come to us, when we get problem in our life, we know that we don't know everything about this problem. One thing we must know that God has His own plan for us, and His plan kindness and God goodness. God is bring universe problem, and we just deal the simple problem. In the other hand, we should remember that God still control this universe, and God still protect us from the great enemy. God answer to Job. God remind again to Job that he is nothing, and God is dealing with universe problem. Job realizes this, but the main question is, who is the actor of the problem and his sufferer? Now God answer him. Job chapter 41 verse 1. Can you draw out Leviathan with a hook or snare his thrown with a line which you lower? In the other words, if we read and all this chapter, God asked Job will give him question. Can you defeat Leviathan, who is Mount Go burning lamps? His eyes are like the lights of the morning, his nestlings like dot sign. His bird kindled coals, his heart is a firm as a stone. This means that Job cannot defend Leviathan was the main actor of his suffering. The question is, who is Leviathan? The features of Leviathan are his mouths go burning lamps, his eyes are like the lights of the morning, he sings like dot sign, his bird kindled calls, his heart is as bright as a stone and edge. The Creator is represented as will, fierce and unforgettable, having a mount array of death. The body is covered with a skeleton set near together, like a coat of mine. Many scholars believe that Leviathan is crocodile. In some translation, Leviathan was translated as crocodile, but I think crocodile have no fire breathing or king of breed children. As for information, ancient side story believe that Leviathan is the most great enemy of God. So when God revealed to Job about Leviathan, Job know that he is the great enemy of God. Isaiah chapter 27 verse 1. In that day, the Lord with his sharp sword, great and strong, will punish Leviathan, the feeling serpent, Leviathan that twisted serpent, and he will slay the reptile that is the sea. God will punish Leviathan later in his day. The information we get from his verse is God will slay Leviathan in the sea. Psalms, Psalm 74, verse 13 until 15. You defeated the sea by your strength. You broke the heads of the sea serpents in the waters. You broke the heads of Leviathan in pieces and gave him as food to the people inhabiting the wilderness. You broke open the fountain and the flood you dried up makes rivers. Leviathan has many heads, and God broke the hands of Leviathan. Revelation 12, verse 3, 7 until 9. In this passage, Leviathan was translated as dragon. We will see that Leviathan has 7 heads and 10 horns. Michael and his angel will fight with Leviathan in the book of Revelation. Now we understand that Leviathan is Satan, and of course Job now understands that his suffer come from Leviathan of his dealing with cosmic problem and himself cannot fight with Leviathan. Ending story. When Job already heard the explanation from God, he fully understands now what's going on him, and this story has a happy ending. Job got back his wealthy, got another sons and daughter, and he praised God of this. We get the now Leviathan is Satan. He was the man behind the scam. He was some who bring problem, decide, and suffer is in this world. We fully understand now all the problems around the world today is happen because of Leviathan. We have to many reference now to understand that is going on now. We don't need to ask the same question like Job to God. What happened, God, if there is war? Economic crisis, political crisis, charism issue, army take over the government in Thailand. We know already what's going on. Remember, God is dealing with the universe problem, and we are dealing with our own problem. God still in control in this world. God is defeat Leviathan. Conclusion. We are lucky that Job has no reference about what's going on this earth. It makes him go down and up again, down and up again, until God break his silence and explain it to him. We have our Bible, we have to the book of God, so we already know what happened in this world now. We know exactly the end of this story. We know the end of this world. It means we don't need to worry about anything happen in this world. We don't need to ask God what's going on. We don't need to ask God about suffering in this world because we already know that Leviathan will responsible for all problem and suffering in this world. Leviathan has 7 heads and 10 horns. Who is he? Leviathan is Satan, the troublemaker, father of the earth. God bless you. See you.